why don't we give a quick intro to the audience about a little bit about yourself? And I think this is going to be one of the more interesting talks that we had.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate the invitation. So I started my business career in the nightclub business while I was in high school. Um, I went to law school for university while I was in the nightclub business, and from there I was introduced to poker, live poker,
Oh,
in
okay.
some underground poker rooms in Sydney. This was around 2001, 2002. Online poker had just started being available. And I kind of fell in love with the game and certain characteristics around trying to learn how to play the game at a very high level. It was also nice to have been making a lot of money for a 21 or 22-year-old. And then naturally, I just gravitated towards online poker because I could play a lot more hands per hour. When online poker kind of blew up in America in 2004, when Chris Moneymaker won the World Series of Poker, I already had a couple of years of experience
Right, right.
trying to solve the game. And at the time, not many people knew what they were doing, but everyone wanted to play poker. So it was a fantastic time to have a head start on everybody. And I dropped out of law school and played poker full time for almost a decade, probably 7 or 8 years. That was a fantastic time. Very analogous to crypto over the last 3 or 4 years, in that it really was the Wild West. There was no regulation, every man for themselves, very PvP, player versus player type mindset. So that was a great time in my 20s, traveling the world, playing cards, meeting a bunch of interesting people, making a few bucks
That's a
along the way.
life, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. I had a really, really good time. But, I treated it like a business. I treated it like a job. So that allowed me to have a very good time. And most people that look at activities like that, they kind of glamorize them. They think it's all sunshine and rainbows. It isn't. For most people, it ends in misery because most people don't have the
Really?
discipline.
Why is that?
Well, if you just think about, you're effectively gambling for a living. You have an edge, but your edge can
Right.
deteriorate very quickly. You might have a few too many
Oh,
drinks
so
that
it's
night.
not a consistent edge.
Well, it isn't, because you're a human, right? You're not a computer, you're not a robot. And
Hmm.
discipline is something that oscillates depending on your mood. How many drinks have you had? Are you tired?
Right.
Did the stripper last night bail on you and you're upset? Like, it's a constant battle with human emotion. And
Interesting.
and,
Yeah.
and no human, myself included, can keep that in a constant state. Everyone has these ups and downs, and if most people are playing well, they'll win money, but that's just not reality. It's how you play and how you make decisions under pressure. If you've been drinking, if you're upset, if you're tired,
Right.
that's the difference between treating it like a business or a job and just straight out punting. And over time, most people, the discipline kind of becomes very hard for them, and as a result, they end up losing all their money, even if they're very good players. I was never the best player in any of the games I played in. There were people that
Mm.
were a lot more talented than me, that were a lot smarter than me. But in order to do that kind of activity for many years, it's the most disciplined person that usually ends up with all the money. And that's analogous to
Right. Kind of
investing.
like crypto. Yeah.
Well, it's analogous to investing. It's analogous to trading,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and and certainly analogous to the crypto markets. So having that experience, um, you know, over over 10, 15 years ago, just I was very, very prepared for what we've seen in crypto over the last 2 or 3 years, where it's the same kind of battlefield, um, and except then the numbers are just a lot bigger in crypto, and you can lose it a lot faster. You can't get 100x leverage in a
Yeah.
poker
I mean,
table.
we've seen with FTX. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I did that for a long time, and if you want, I can later on discuss some of the skills that I developed playing poker that have helped me become a
I mean, I would want to start with that.
yeah,
That seems like a really interesting conversation.
sure.